person's name to that person is the sweetest sound in any language. That's from this book here. My dog ate this version of the book, but this is from How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, you can't do either of those things, win friends or influence people, unless you're remembering those people's names. In this video, we're going to create a shortcut on your iPhone to help you better store people's names so you don't forget anybody's name ever again. Now, I've always been historically bad at names. I used to go around telling everyone after I met them, I'll probably ask your name again because I'm bad with names. I was practically saying, I'm not going to remember your name, it's not important enough, and you're not important enough. So remind me later. Looking back, that's a terrible way to make a first impression on anybody. Nobody wants to hear that you're just not going to remember their name because you're bad at names. Like, that's a terrible excuse. Whoops. Hey, I'm Tony, and I'm really bad at names. Well, until I came up with a system to be better. Okay, so maybe you aren't that bad. Maybe you're just a little forgetful. Maybe you have some social anxiety, and you try to immediately think of what to say next, instead of presently hearing their name and not noting it mentally. That's all it really takes. Hear their name and make a mental note. And try to remember something about them. That helps you form a memory around the name instead of just remembering a name. Because why would you want to remember their name if you don't remember anything about them, right? Okay, I'm gonna show you my system that helped me break out of my streak of forgetting people's names. To start somewhere, I had heard that you can try to remember somebody's name and use a mnemonic, which is associating their name with something similar, right? So I met this guy named Roy who told me this. There's a Mac DeMarco song called Viceroy. So the way I remembered his name after he told me this was Viceroy. Now that helps some people, doesn't help everybody. You can still forget easily. So this is kind of like almost creating a contact book or the log where you can go and look back if you need to, you have record of it, and you can refresh your memory. Say you go to a function for work and you just see this person this one time and you know you're going to see them again and you can't really remember their name, you can go and refer back to this log. I created a note file to keep track of people I met. And one interesting thing about them, after I was done with my chat with them, I would quickly pull out my phone, go to my notes app, find that note, scroll through the notes to the very bottom and add their name and just like a brief couple things, like a list. This made it so that in the moment, instead of just hearing their name and not storing it, I knew that after I was done with this conversation, I would go write it down. So I needed to remember the name as part of this system. So I would hear their name, I'd make a mental note, and then I would just go about the conversation, try to learn something about them, try to remember something about them. So just kind of curious about the person. Then this eventually became an afterthought. I wasn't just thinking about, oh, I need to get their name. It just became like a habit. And this led to more pleasant and engaging conversations with strangers, which some of them have now turned into some friends. Now, I'm gonna show you how to make a even better version of this on your phone. As a disclaimer, this is only for iPhone users. Sorry, Android. I have not had the pleasure of owning one of you yet. Now take out your iPhone. You're gonna swipe down on the home screen and you're gonna type in shortcuts. Now make sure you have the shortcuts app installed. If not, go ahead and install it. I'm not gonna show you how to do that. Now open the app and press the top right corner. It's the plus button in the top right corner. It might look a little complicated at the start with this search bar and just have no idea what you're doing with this blank slate here, but I encourage you to follow along. You might learn something cool about your iPhone and you might get inspired to make more efficient shortcuts. I found out that my brother made one when I was talking to him about this that he could use to skip ads on music streaming services. Now, I don't know nothing about that one, so don't ask and go look it up yourself. Anyways, we're going to hit the search bar in the bottom half of the screen, and we're going to enter ask for input. By default, it should say ask for text once you select this. Now, this is where you're going to enter their name. So in prompt, we're going to type name. So this is what's going to show up on your screen when you start this shortcut. So ask for text with name, full colon, space. And then we're going to go and click the little drop down arrow and we're going to unselect allow multiple lines. Next, we're going to do another ask for. So we're going to then type in ask for again, ask for input text. And then in that, we're going to put what about them is memorable, question mark. And we are going to keep on allow multiple lines so we can create multiple lines here to add to our note. Now we're going to go down and search date, select date. This should just be current date by default. Next, we're going to go and find a location. So just type in get current location. Next, we're going to type in text. That rhymes. Text. In this text, we're going to put in a list of underscores. Under that, we're going to put who, full colon, and then click select variable there. And we're going to grab ask for input. So who, whatever that input was, is going to be returned. So what about them? Select variable again. We're going to go up and select ask for input, the second one. So that's going to get us the second response that we give. And then we're going to type in when, colon, space, and then we're going to do select variable. We're going to go and grab date. Date is fine. We don't necessarily need the time unless you want it. So you can do date time here. And next, inside the text still, we're still going. We're going to do where, and we're going to do select variable, and it's going to be the current location. So now we have who, what, when, and where. And at the bottom, just click enter so that there's a new line at the bottom. This will create a new line line every time you make a new one of these, so they're not all on top of each other. Now we're going to go and search for append to note. I already have a note called interactions. Go to your notes app and create a new note, name it whatever you want. And we're going to say append text to, and I'm going to go find interactions. When I go and create this note, it's going to keep appending to the bottom of the previously written note in the interactions note. So make your own note. Now, if you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe. I got big dreams over here. That was supposed to be like a New York Italian accent, but I'm not either of those things. But I do have a lot of cool stuff to show you. Now, let me know in the comments if you want to see me do something else with this data. Maybe put it into Notion automatically instead of just your iPhone's notes app, or maybe into a database. Let me know. Now you are pretty much done. Select the text at the top and we're going to rename that to interactions. And then select the icon there at the top, the notes icon. And we're going to change that icon to the waving guy. And I'm going to go with the color red and we'll just press done. I notice mine doesn't say interaction at the top because I already have a note named interaction. So I'm going to call this interactions 1. That one's saved. You can see the change there at the top. This icon you choose, whatever icon you choose here, when you go and add this to your, you can go and add this to your home screen or onto some accessibility features on your iPhone. You can put it on your lock screen. Pretty customizable here. Apple finally has that ability. I'm going to go ahead and add this little guy to my home screen. So add to home screen. You can choose your, what it's called. You can choose the logo. You can put a photo in there instead. We're going to press add and you can see it's on my home screen. I already have another one created for a test one I did earlier. Hello, this is Edit Tony now. I'm realizing that I never recorded me actually using the interaction. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real fast. Okay, so I've got more apps on the screen since the last time you saw it, but we're gonna go to my normal home screen and I'm gonna press the icon I have that I actually use. And here's what it does. It says, what's their name? I'm gonna put in audience. What up, audience? Good to meet you. Done. What do I want to remember them by? They like meeting new people. And then if I have another thing, I'm gonna say they like to like this video and press done. See up there, it's still processing at the top, grabbing the location, the date, doing all of the things we programmed, and it's done. If you want to go and check your actual notes app, we can now see my address. I'm gonna blur that out. It says who, what, when, and where this interaction took place. So there you go. Now let's get back and finish watching this video. You've got your interaction set up. Now get out there and start meeting new people. It's not gonna happen if you're just sitting here watching YouTube videos. Okay, that's it. Bye. Kind of funny if I do this whole thing with a coffee microphone. Coffee. It's just a decaf shot of espresso with a little bit of milk, a little bit of maple syrup. Oh yeah, that's good.